This is Carla, and welcome back to There Might Be Cupcakes. I've missed you. I have some fresh traditional Christmas horror content coming for you for the holidays. But in preparation, I thought I would share my past Yule episodes for new listeners and my faithful listeners alike. The holidays are all about familiarity and tradition, after all. So first, here's my own Christmas stories from years past, including the year I contracted food poisoning on Christmas Day and hallucinated. It actually involves the Grease soundtrack on vinyl. And how we all managed as a family with a hyperactive kid with a grand mal seizure disorder, among other problems, who thought every single shopper at the mall came just to see him, and who also thought the animatronic mall decorations were real. I'll follow up then with my past Yule horror episodes bundled into one. Then, after Christmas, when we're into the real 12 days of Christmas, I'll explain in an episode, I'll return with new Christmas horror stories. Happy holidays, y'all. I hope you're all safe and warm and finding and making the cupcakes that you need. I love you all, and I'm grateful for every one of you. Mwah! Oh, and one bit of housekeeping. I just started a subreddit for those of you who like to hang out on Reddit. It's r/theremightbecupcakes. Nice and easy and simple. And it's linked in the show notes. I'll see you there.
Snow on snow, snow on snow, ooh, snow on snow.
Mistletoe, said Luna dreamily, pointing in a large clump of white berries placed almost over Harry's head. He jumped out from under it. Good thinking, said Luna seriously. It's often infested with nargles. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Warning. This episode is not for anyone who knows that Santa Claus is real. I tell a couple of stories that might allude to the contrary, so this episode is not for the young or the innocent. Hi, this is Carla, and welcome to episode 31 of There Might Be Cupcakes. This episode is going to be all about the cupcakes that can be found in the mishaps and the stressors of celebrating the holidays, specifically drawn from my childhood, celebrating Christmas with my family, which was, as you may know from earlier episodes, me, my weird, super smart, super shy self, my two young parents, one an ex-hippie, one an engineer with a slide rule in a belt holster, and my little brother Eric, who had a grand mal seizure disorder, Addison's disease, and many other impairments due to having had seizures even while in the womb. We were a motley crew on a good day, and we were awesome, don't get it twisted, but we were complicated. All of the above meant that come holiday times, things could become unpredictable, so we had to look for cupcakes, hard, and we were good at it. So this means that things that could have become frustrating or disappointing or even sad in the moment or in memory, like the mystery of Santa Claus almost getting spoiled more than twice, and my getting gravely ill on Christmas morning, and the ever-present danger of my brother Eric possibly having a seizure at any time, are actually endearing, even funny family stories. I'm going to tell you two different stories about how the man behind the curtain, aka Santa Claus, was almost revealed by Dad. Then I will tell you about the great Barbie Dreamhouse Santa Claus lie of 1980. Mom. But first, my dad. I was very, very sensitive to Santa's needs. I was his homegirl. He had a lot of work to do, and by God, he was going to have an enjoyable stop at Carla and Eric's house. There would be cookies, there would be milk, and there would be no fire in the fireplace. Almost every year, I either got up to check that the fire had been extinguished or would yell intermittently from my room. Imagine this little troubled girl's voice coming down the hall. Is the fire out yet? I would even go so far as to argue. We don't know where we are on Santa's schedule, so we just need to go ahead and put it out. You don't know. I told you. Too smart for my own good. So how did Dad almost mess up? His sense of humor, for one. His timing, for the other. First, the timing. I once got up to check on the fire, natch, and caught my daddy eating Santa Claus's cookies. Dude. Now, what I caught him doing was preparing for Christmas. Extinguishing the fire, preparing my Santa presents, and making crumbs in an empty milk glass. But I was horrified. Absolutely horrified. I marched him back into the kitchen, made him reload both glass and plate, and I'm not sure if this part is dream or reality, but I remember making him write an apology note to Santa. Dad, you need to let me know if this part's true or a dream. I was a righteously indignant enough child that I could kind of see myself doing that part. As for his sense of humor, one Christmas, Eric was already tucked in, and I was going, and then realized to my horror that I had completely forgotten Santa Claus's milk and cookies. Oh, the humanity! I yelled out my Stop the Presses announcement. Never mind, Eric was asleep. And Dad from the kitchen said, supposedly not loud enough for me to hear, maybe Santa wants a beer this year. Now, for the great Barbie Dream House Santa Claus lie of 1980. I'm just kidding. I'm not completely positive of the year. But the lie was that monumental. Okay, for those of you who weren't 70s and 80s kids, Barbie had what was called a dream house. It was basically a 6-room mansion. The sides pulled away for easier play. It had furniture and food and skylights, and there was so much friggin' pink with a pretty white frame. It would have looked at home life-size as a set on Beverly Hills 90210. The original show, you heathens. If I can find a photo of this masterpiece on Pinterest, I will post it in the website entry for this episode. No joke, y'all. If I still had it, I might secretly, or not so secretly, still play with it. Play therapy, it's a thing. Look it up. Anyway, I wanted it. Hardcore. And my parents, as you've probably guessed, got it for me. Spoiler alert. However, I'm going to utter a phrase that strikes terror into the heart of every parent. Some assembly required. My parents were up until 4 in the morning putting this house together and staging it for me. According to Pettigrew family legend, a couple of pieces never made it to the finished house. They went to bed anyway. 1 hour later, at 5 a.m., I woke up. Now, our house rule was that no child was to go into the den before waking a parent on Christmas morning. I went to Mom's side of the bed and asked her to please check and see if Santa had come yet. Bleary-eyed, exhausted, and still frustrated, she made a fateful, evil decision to lie to a child. She told me to stay put and she'd check. Then my mom went into the den, counted to 30 while hate staring at the Barbie dream house, then came back to me, looked into my little innocent green eyes, and lied to me. Lies. Santa hasn't come yet, sweetie. You know he can't come when you're awake. Hurry, go back to sleep. The nerve. Lies. One can never have enough socks, said Dumbledore. Another Christmas has come and gone, and I didn't get a single pair. People will insist on giving me books. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. As I said, Dad was an engineer, a mechanical engineer, which meant he was very skilled at wrapping presents from a precision point of view. Those corners were crisp, yo. For the purposes of concealment, which is arguably the purpose of wrapping presents, you really don't want an engineer to wrap your presents. Not if you're receiving certain presents, especially in the 1970s and the 1980s. Like, I don't know, a record album, or a cassette tape, or a Barbie doll, which comes in a specifically shaped box. Count the trapezoids under the Christmas tree. You know how many Barbies Carla's getting. I thought it was adorable. Now, what were the best presents I received as a child? Besides the Barbie dream house, that is. One was a vinyl record album. Not ironically, that's how we played music when I was a kid, damn hipsters. Michael Jackson's Off the Wall. I was so excited. I played the hell out of Off the Wall. I have a photo somewhere of me holding it up for the camera with this look on my face like I had received Michael Jackson himself for Christmas. I will find it and post it on the website and in the Facebook group. Of course, all of my Star Wars toys. The cover image for this episode is from Christmas 1977, and it's my receiving the droid I was looking for. The mini R2-D2 to complete Eric's and my set of minifigures. We had all of the main characters and a land speeder, and larger versions of Luke and Leia, both also Christmas presents. And we would play Star Wars for hours upon hours. With the minifigs, we actually used Christmas wrapping cardboard tubes as escape hatches, garbage tubes, whatever the characters needed. Many a time, the good guys slid down a Christmas wrapping tube from my bookshelf to the land speeder and freedom. Our hearts grow tender with childhood memories and love of kindred, and we are better throughout the year for having, in spirit, become a child again at Christmas time. Laura Ingalls Wilder. So now we get serious, because then there was the Christmas morning I contracted salmonella. And how I did was still a mystery, since no one else in the family did. My parents discovered something was wrong thanks to my response to one of my gifts, the soundtrack to the movie Grease. I remember already not feeling well, feeling tired and strange, and I was lying on the couch with my new Barbies and other small items for my stocking. Dad went in the other room to put the Grease soundtrack on the record player for me. I was apparently tripping off the virus or my fever, because I remember the music and the voices not sounding right, and crying in fear as I said that over and over. They don't sound right. They don't sound right. I spent the rest of the Christmas day and that night in the hospital. Mom and Dad explained that 2 evil bugs named Sam and Ella had attacked me. And with Eric living in our house, safety was always upmost, and it was just part of our daily lives without question. High alert without thinking about it, and this extended to Christmas, both decorations and presents. I remember receiving a Barbie carry-all. Are you sensing a theme here? It was a plastic suitcase-like thingy meant for carrying 2 or 3 Barbies and some of their clothing to a friend's house. It came with tiny clothes hangers and my first tiny Barbie shoes. I remember receiving a serious talk from Mom and Dad, while Eric played with his toys, later on Christmas Day, about how I was being trusted with little pieces and parts, and I must keep them away from Eric, that they were a choking hazard. I remember this so clearly, and taking this in so solemnly, but I couldn't have been more than 5. But that was the different life we led, and having that talk didn't ruin my new present. It was just how we lived. It actually made me feel important and special, because I had a family role in helping with Eric. We had Christmas stocking traditions. No matter what other presents we received from each other, our parents, or Santa, in our stockings from Santa we always received 2 things: a plastic egg full of silly putty, and McDonald's coupons. Christmas to me will always have a memory of sticking silly putty to the newspaper comics, we called them the funny pages, and then stretching Charlie Brown's head into all types of distortion. I loved the McDonald's coupons book because that was my first experience of paying for something myself. They weren't traditional coupons, a percentage off something. They were a booklet of exchange coupons. So basically they could be used as cash for kid items, a cheeseburger, a Happy Meal, that kind of thing. So I could go up to the counter and order and pay myself like a big girl. And it just wouldn't have been the same if Mom and Dad had given me a couple of dollars and allowed me to order. I guess because money was universal and these coupons were for kids only. All I know is they made me feel very special and fancy. Thanks, Santa. One last story. This one, like the salmonella, was not a cupcake at the time. Just like I find that one kind of cute now, because Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta sounded like they were yodeling to my fevered mind. I find these events precious now, because we were so very lucky to be Eric's family, and because I'm not so shy anymore. When we were young, the large shopping mall in Charlotte was Eastland. It was fabulous. It even had an indoor ice skating rink. An Eastland Mall decorated full out for every single holiday, with animatronic displays throughout the mall. Now see, one of Eric's mental impairments was a faulty understanding of objects' permanence. And one of Eric's gifts was that he honestly loved everyone and everything, and firmly believed that he was completely loved in return. Add in a crowded Christmas shopping mall, with every open area filled with the same animatronic decorations every year, and you might see where I'm going. Only the best Christmas stories in this episode. Eric would first run, which was Mom's fear in public every time, him running away from her. He would first run to each display of moving Christmas creatures or elves or reindeer, climb up on the white picket fence that surrounded each display, wave madly, and shout, "Hi, it's me! I missed you! Did you miss me? Merry Christmas!" Every single one. And he meant every word. He wasn't trying to be cute. He'd miss those elves and reindeer and winter creatures, those mechanical creatures, and he was excited to see them again, and he honestly thought they'd done the same. He had the same reaction naturally to the mall Santa Claus, who was always, thank God, wonderful and played along, recognizing him and given as much attention and as many hugs as required. Then comes the second part. When people smiled at Eric's behavior, he took their smiles as signs of friendship, called, "Hi, Merry Christmas!" Sometimes added a hearty and heartfelt, "I love you!" as he dashed into their surprise arms for a hug. Yes, he hugged strangers, a lot of them. And again, he meant it all, every word, every hug. I'm extremely grateful to report that most people responded with kindness and even happiness. Imagine Will Ferrell's character in the movie Elf, how he comes across to people. That's the closest I can come to possibly explaining Eric's joy, love, and awkwardness. At the time, being a shy kid, I was usually either mortified or INFJ that I am, trying to fix it. Now, I think I was one of the lucky few to actually get to spend time with the true spirit of Santa Claus and the true meaning of Christmas. It is a fair, even-handed, noble adjustment of things, that while there is infection and disease and sorrow, there is nothing in the world so irresistibly contagious as laughter and good humor. Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol. Thank you once again for spending this time with me. The book I recommend from my sponsor, Audible, is one kind of like the stories I've told you today, only more profane. Holidays on Ice by David Sedaris, narrated by the author. Just go to Audible Trial, one word, audibletrial.com/mightbecupcakes, and choose Holidays on Ice as your free book to keep with your 30-day trial. You get to keep the book for free no matter what. It is one of my favorite holiday books of all time. It actually made me laugh so hard when I was listening to it driving that I had to pull off the road. Amy Sedaris does a couple of the voices, and my pulling off the road, I think, was Amy's fault, if I remember correctly. But the main story, and one of the best stories, is David's diary of being a Macy's Christmas elf. I highly recommend it. It's a book that has brought me great joy both in print, but especially in audio version. So until next time, I wish you holiday cupcakes, and if you be so lucky, I wish you an Eric Pettigrew in your life.
a storm. The snow had fallen, snow and snow, snow and snow, in the bleak midwinter. Angels and archangels may have gathered there, cherubim and seraphim from the winter air, but his mother only in a maiden bliss worship the beloved, worship with a kiss, with snow and snow, 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 snow and snow. What can I give him? Poor as I am, if I were a shepherd, I would bring a lamb. If I were a wise man, I would do my part. Yet what can I give him? Give my heart. In the sky let go, laying snow on snow, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the sky let go, laying snow on snow, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the sky let go, laying snow on snow, snow on snow, snow on snow. In the sky let go, laying snow on snow, snow on snow, snow on snow.